Hi, my name is Dhiraj Singh. I'm not a cook, I'm not a chef, I'm just an artist, but I like to cook and I like to experiment with my cooking. And I've decided to make this video of a no-knead bread. It's not N-E-E-D, it's K-N-E-A-D, which means that you don't have to use your hands in making this bread. It's a very simple bread and uses very basic, simple ingredients. Why I've decided to make this particular recipe available to you guys is because I think a lot of us are trying to get fresh bread off the bakeries, off the shelves, but we can't find any. And I've searched the web to find the easiest possible recipe of making bread at home. So here we go. So 1 cup of whole grain and 1 cup of maida. There is salt, there is yeast, and there is hot water. We need 1 cup, 1 full cup of atta. My next ingredient is maida, which is your flour, refined flour. And here I go. 1 cup of maida. There you go. Into the bowl. Just give it a light mix. Next is 1 teaspoon of salt. Just even it out. I'm using dry yeast. You could use any variety that you like, and I don't want too much. 1/4 of a teaspoon is just good enough. Just give it a light mix so that all the ingredients mix together. Usually in this kind of artisanal bread recipe, you have to keep the dough overnight for about 18-20 hours to sort of proof, but we're not doing that. That's why I'm using hot water, which helps the yeast to ferment faster than using cold water, which requires it to be kept in the proofing bowl for a whole night. I like to make a small well in the flour, which is just my kink. You can do without it. And now I'm going to add the final ingredient, which is hot water. 1 cup of hot water. There you go. Into the well. Now this is a no-knead recipe. That means you don't have to use your hands. You can use a spatula or a spoon or any other material that you have in your kitchen. It's easy to do it. So you just need to mix all the ingredients together. See that they are all thoroughly mixed and the water has gone down to each and every part of the dry ingredients, and they're nicely mixed together. Now you can see the strings have started coming. It's a nice stringy dough, and which means we are almost ready to keep it for proofing. Just scrape out the edges from the spoon and let it go into the dough. Yeah, nicely. And now it's ready to be kept aside for proofing. As you can see, the dough is ready. You can just use something to cover it. I'm using a towel to keep it aside, nicely covered in a warm area of the kitchen, and let it proof for about 3 hours. It's been 2 hours since I put my dough for proofing, and 1 more hour to go. And as you can see behind me, the sun is setting. It's a beautiful amber. I often come to my balcony these days because it's nice and quiet and the view is clean and everything is visible below. And this is one of the few things that you can do from your balcony without causing any pollution of any kind. So the sun has gone down, but my dough has risen. Let me go and check how it's come up. It's just the perfect consistency. It's shaky and it's slobbering like a piece of jelly, which is how we want it. And it's smelling nice and yeasty. So the next step would be to sprinkle a little flour on the rolling board, which in this case is the kitchen granite. Sprinkle it generously because you're going to put the dough on this next. And with the help of a spoon, just scrape it out from the edges. It's still a bit sticky, but it's going to come out eventually. It's soft. It has all the air inside it. There you go. I'm also going to sprinkle some flour on top of the dough. So what we do is we just try to roll it gently. No kneading. Remember, this is a no-knead bread. I just want to shape it, give it a nice sort of form. Not exactly a shape, but just a form. The bread is going to go inside this bowl for another round of proving. It's not really a longish one. I just want to heat the vessel in which it's going to go in the oven for a bit. So that's how. I'm just going to cover it for some time and leave it aside. The original recipe has something called the Dutch oven, but I'm improvising mostly. I don't have a Dutch oven. So what I've done is I've taken this top lid of another cooker, and this is my normal baking tray. And these two go inside the oven for heating. Now this is really nice and hot, which is required because we want the crust of the bread to be really hard and crusty. So the next step is to transfer this bread onto our baking tray with the paper. I'll quickly cut the extra paper out. And there we go again. The lid probably settled. And now it goes back into the oven, which is on full heat at 250 degrees centigrade, which is about 480 Fahrenheit. So I'm going to put it slightly above the half an hour mark, but I'll take it out at half an hour. So it's done, and I'm really keeping my fingers crossed to see how it's come. It's my first time, and it's my first time at making bread, which I've called my lockdown bread. As you can see, it looks really nice. The crust is nice and hard, but I would like the crust to be still harder. So now what I'll do is take out the paper. Kind of a messy job taking out this paper. As you can see, it's nicely crusted. That is a nice hard crust, and inside I know it's really soft. So I'm going to put it for another 10 minutes inside to get the crust more brown. That is the required color and the right kind of hardness on top of it. So you can actually hear the echo of my knocks on the bread, which is really nice. It's still a bit warm. I'm going to leave it out here to cool a bit, and then we'll cut it open. I think it's done, so I'm going to slice my amazingly homemade artisanal bread. There you go. The lovely, lovely homemade artisanal bread, my own lockdown bread. Just a slight, it's not actually slight, dab of hunkered dip, and it's good to go. Amazing.
I'm the official taster.
easy. How is it?
It's nice.
It's yummy? It's really yummy? Wow. He likes it, that means it's really, really nice.